Happy Homage Wednesday to you. It is the 15th of January. It's divisional round weekend, and we're working our way towards Bills and Ravens on Sunday Night Football from Western New York. And it's going to be some gnarly weather, I would imagine, partner. Great to see you. I'm Bobby Trossett, as always, joined alongside Sarah Ellison. We're both rocking our homage gear. I got my go-to section hoodie on. You got your let's see. What do you have on?
Lamar Jackson NFL Blitz.
Okay. And you guys know the drill at this point. This is yet another Wednesday where we will give away a homage t-shirt. And there are a ton of different Ravens ones to choose from among their collection. In order to be eligible for today's giveaway, subscribe to the Vault, like this video, and leave a super chat with the hashtag Vault. The hashtag has to be included so we can randomly pick you, and the software scopes you out coming up in an hour from now at the end of the show. You can also use our discount code TheVault at homage.com/Sarah and Bobby for 20% off your next purchase. There is a lot to get to today. We appreciate you guys for being here. We got a couple great giveaways that we just locked in, by the way, for the next couple days. Tomorrow's is going to be pretty special in particular, so make sure you're available at 12 noon Eastern tomorrow. That's Thursday. And, of course, post-game show as well on Sunday, regardless of win or loss. If you like player-signed merch, you're probably going to want to make sure that you're available for that one, which will
not just any player. We're talking all pro.
He's on track for a potential spot in Canton later on in life. But 6:30 will probably go on about 10:30 or so coming up on Sunday night. And I will be in Buffalo. More on that in just a bit. That's been finalized. I will also mention, too, off script here because it just came out. The Bills have brought in former Ravens backup Anthony Brown to serve as a practice squad quarterback, but probably a scout team quarterback to try and attempt to do what's really impossible, and that is simulate Lamar throughout their next few days of prep as they gear up for this. And I accidentally press unmute. So with that,
did they get somebody to pretend to be Derrick Henry too?
I mean, good luck. Good luck to the Bills, who will attempt to do what teams have tried to do the last 7 years, and that is prepare for Lamar. And now over the last year, they've tried to prepare for the two of them, which is obviously one heck of a duo. So anyway, kind of a long intro just because of that breaking news, but here's what we have coming up over the next hour or so. Get Up is just, I mean, all the ESPN analysts that were on Get Up this morning, Sarah, gushed over this matchup, right? Injected into my veins is what they were saying. But really, they made a suggestion based on the teams, based on the analysis, based on what happened in week 4, that Buffalo's not going to be able to hang with Baltimore's bully ball approach. So we'll get into that. Hard Knocks, I know we both watched last night's latest episode, which was fantastic on HBO. Chris Berman made a cameo. Devilish Lamar Jackson has a viral moment, and Diontae Johnson wasn't involved in Hard Knocks, but as we discussed at the end of yesterday's live stream, he is in the news yet again, just when you think that we're done talking about him. And Pittsburgh, man, the blowback that continues for the Steelers, not only with Mike Tomlin's future in the conversation in terms of where things are at, having not won a playoff game since 2016, that's a part of the conversation. And Kyle Van Noy ripped the Steelers in his latest podcast episode. We got enough to talk to about today. I can keep going.
Nah. I think you gave a pretty good preview there. I'm going to set up this ESPN clip, and then while it's playing, I'm going to fix – I don't like how zoomed out I am and how zoomed in you are. So while that's playing, I'm going to take my earphones out and go fix the zoom on my camera. But, woo-wee, were they amped up at Get Up, and so was Linda E with her $99.99 super chat. Watch every day. This super chat is long overdue. Go Ravens. This is our year. Hashtag Vault. She wants in on this giveaway, although this giveaway is not worth $9.99, Linda, but I like how amped up you are. We'll get to more super chats here in a minute. But who isn't amped up, Bobby? I wish this matchup could be the Super Bowl matchup. I've got uncles I haven't heard of in years texting me. I've got friends I haven't heard from since high school texting me, talking about this matchup. It's too bad it's going to come this early, but this is what we got. Lamar and Josh, front runner MVPs. We got Derek, James Cook on the other side, and two fan bases who have been at each other's throats for months. And so if you think that fans are amped and only fans, no. Media are getting up for it. So they're talking about how amped they are, and they're talking about what's really the key. And they say it's not the MVPs, but the physicality of this game. Let's go.
Just take a moment to do what everyone else is doing and say, oh my God, what a game.
Oh my God.
I mean, thank God we get this. Sometimes you don't get this.
Football. Oh, we're going to get some football.
Let me describe this game for everybody.
Okay.
Oh, here we go.
Let me describe it. This ain't MVPs. Onslaught of physicality. That's what this game is going to be. This is as a heavyweight fight can be. The Buffalo Bills run the most 6 OL formations personnel group in the league by far. That's how James Cook's running game has turned on the way it has. You look at the Ravens, you think it's 6 line, but that's just Derrick Henry in the backfield. And they bring in Likely, and they have Andrews, who are full participants in the blocking, and Ricard at fullback. This thing is so nasty. And you think about the last time they played. Baltimore boat raced this team. Buffalo's going to have to do something in their front to change this. Derrick Henry averaged 10 yards a carry against, I mean, you said moi to James Davis, moi to football and the football gods for giving me this on this weekend. Because I'm just going to tell you right here, like, it doesn't get better. It doesn't get better than that.
If this is a matchup of strength on strength, power on power, which defense is better suited to stand up to this?
Obviously, the Ravens are a bigger, more physical, better defense against the run. The Bills, their linebackers are a bit undersized. All their linebackers that they use are 20 pounds lighter than Derrick Henry. Right. And Derrick Henry's a particularly big guy, but that's how the Ravens want to play. And when they do this option game, you either have to have one guy in space with Lamar, which is trouble, or you send 2 guys out there, and then you got one guy in the hole against Derrick Henry, and your biggest guys are 20 pounds lighter than him. So worst case scenario, unless your D-line breaks through, he's falling forward for 4 or 5 yards. That's a tough situation to be in because you don't have anybody that perfectly matches up in either of those things. And that's why the Ravens seem unstoppable offensively, because even when you play it well, you're asking somebody to make an open field tackle against Lamar Jackson or Derrick Henry. No, thank you.
I know we talk about Derrick Henry and Lamar Jackson, but Isaiah Likely, Mark Andrews, and Ricard as blockers.
And talk these guys.
I hate talking about offensive line play or blocking anybody who's connected to the line of scrimmage. But if you watch that first Bills game, those guys bullied the Bills. And not only that, when they fought through them or by some, act of God, they were faced one-on-one with Derrick Henry, nobody wanted to tackle him. So their work is cut out for them. I will say the Ravens defensively, last time it was Kyle Hamilton who was making a lot of plays in the box. He's now deep. But our Darius Washington, who is a name maybe not a lot of people know. He reminds me of Bob Sanders. He's about 5'9", strong safety, who wants all the smoke that is necessary and available in any game.
I love our Darius getting some national love. Just ask Russell Wilson or Joe Mixon if he wants all the smoke. He met those dudes inside the 20s. Put hit sticks on him. Who was the tight end that he did it to just this past weekend, wasn't it?
Fruthmeyer. How do you say his name?
Oh, it's Pat Fryermuth. What an unbelievable, like that, just Fruthmeyer. But man, our Darius epitomizes what the Ravens want to symbolize, right? And it's just pure grit, pure heart, and undrafted pride. You better believe that he's going to be flying around come Sunday night.
Yes, 1,000%. He is the definition of dog, D-A-W-G. That is him. Bobby, in that clip, we got words like unstoppable, talking about Lamar and Derrick. We got words, onslaught of physicality from Jeff Saturday, talking about both offensive lines and their blocking. We got Jeff Saturday pounding the table as I do on a daily basis and clapping as if he's ready to start the game right now, as if he came out of retirement and was coming back to be on one of these offensive lines. We heard the word bully, we heard the word boat race, and we heard the word smoke. Like, that is what this game, we get all of that on top of these 2 MVPs going back and forth. And so they're obviously suggesting, if we can go back a slide, they're obviously suggesting that the one more slide, that where is the slide I want? It's the very first slide. Where are you at? There we go. The very first slide, the way it's teed up in there. So they're suggesting that the matchups don't work quite well, right? So why am I forgetting his name? He's been on our show.
Dominique
Foxworth is saying that their linebackers are 20 pounds lighter, 20 pounds or more lighter than Derrick Henry. It's a small back end defense. Okay. And as Josh Norris of Underdog Fantasy pointed out, just the season long numbers, the Ravens went with multiple backs or tight ends or both on 89% of their snaps on the wild card weekend. Okay. Zay isn't out there. Ravens are like, okay, forget this. We'll use wide receivers a certain percentage of the time, but we're going all in on bully ball. So they went with multiple backs or multiple tight ends or both 89% of the time. The entire season for the Bills defense, they use their base personnel, which includes it's a bigger personnel, on just 3.6% of snaps, which is the lowest rate in the league. Then he said the Bills ran dime with 6 DBs on 16% of snaps. Bobby, we talked about this a little bit when we pulled in the Rex Ryan sound bites. Like, they just don't have the personnel. The way they've been playing all year is not conducive to stopping this train that is Derrick Henry. And then off of that, if you do get in the personnel to stop him, then Lamar's like, okay, you just brought out a slower, more husky personnel. Well, now I'm going to go take off and I'm going to hit you in, I'm going to juke you in the open field. Like it now the Bills, and Saturday was pointing this out, the Bills are physical on offense. Like he talks about how often they use 6 offensive linemen. They use it the most, that lineup most in the NFL. And so they can be physical too, but the Ravens defense is more prepared for that with Michael Pierce and Matabike and Roquan Smith and all these dudes that also want the smoke. So really what it's going to come down to, Bobby, is first of all, the Ravens have to do their foundation of what we're talking about, just run the ball down their throats. Okay. If they do that and control the time of possession and they're able to be stout against their run game, then it's going to put all the pressure on Josh Allen to make explosive play after explosive play, which is why I said I'm most nervous about Brendan Stevens. Because that's, if the Ravens are able to run it like we think they can, it's going to be all Josh Allen having to do explosive plays nonstop. And he'll get those, but how often can he do it? How consistently can he do it versus what the Ravens could consistently do, like we saw last week against the Steelers running the ball?
Yeah, he got a few of those in that week 4 game. You know, while it was obviously a boat race, like Jeff Saturday said, 35-10 was the final, including a 87-yard opening play for Derrick Henry in the first quarter, kind of set the tone. There were still a couple big time explosive plays that Josh just made something out of nothing. And I remember one specifically that was he was flushed off to the right-hand side of the field. And just before he went off to the side, went out of bounds, he just lofted a ball up there. I can't remember who it was for, maybe Khalil Shakir. I know he picked on Stevens a little bit with Keon Coleman and the big body rookie wide receiver that he's been for Buffalo. So you know it's going to be, they're going to be there. How can you weather the storm though? And when will those plays inevitably come? And how will you withstand those? And how will you be inside the red zone? And what kind of factor will the weather be? Obviously, everybody's talking about this game, and everybody has a certain pulse on it. What we all know is this: you would think it's going to live up to the hype, but what kind of factor will there be? How unpredictable will the weather be? That remains to be seen. But Western New York, mid-January, I'd expect anything. I would not be surprised by anything.
So, Bobby, a few people were upset by the graphic to the left, which shows the all pros by each team. So the Ravens have 6, the Bills have 1, and of course Josh Allen is second team, all pro. The Ravens have 6 if you're checking out first and second team. The Ravens obviously have much more Pro Bowlers. Now, Bills fans will use that and weaponize that to say, see, Josh should be the MVP. Well, that conversation's over. It's, like all year, Bills fans have been acting like Josh Allen has been playing with garbage, which is not true. Now, if you ask me, I do think the Ravens have a better roster. Do I think that should have factored into votes? No, I don't, because you didn't do that in past MVPs. There's plenty of all-time great MVPs who had also all-pro, Pro Bowl teammates. Happened year after year after year after year. So why he should be punished for that shouldn't happen, because the past guys didn't. That being said, coming into it, I do think the Ravens have the better overall team. That doesn't mean there aren't weaknesses. We've talked about the right-hand side of the cornerback group. But Kimberly Martin is also tired of hearing that. And Kimberly feels like people are jumping a little bit too much into the Ravens bandwagon. Like, she thinks this is going to be more of a game than what those guys just let on in the clip that we just showed. So she was like, I'm kind of frustrated by this. And she kind of lets it be known why more people should be people shouldn't be acting like Josh Allen is fighting with one arm behind his back.
Inject this game into my veins now.
I had to add one more thing. Even though she's about to talk about that, she can't contain her excitement either, talking about inject this game into my veins. So we had to throw that in there too. They were giddy the entire segment, I'm telling you. Okay, start this again.
Inject this game into my veins now. Now, this is like
Blockbuster.
Like this. We've been waiting on. Yeah, I'm like speechless. Like, this is.
I feel like there is a conventional wisdom developing that the Ravens are just definitively better, and that they should beat them.
Which I don't know why. I don't know why people are saying that. Because when you look at the Bills, they are 9-0 at home this season, and they have been favored in 42 consecutive home games up until this weekend. That is the longest. That is the longest in franchise history. I'm actually shocked that the Ravens are favored in this one. I understand they have a wonderful roster, but I am shocked that the Ravens are actually going into this game favored.
I agree.
So this is what is so frustrating about this conversation, because to act like Josh Allen is fighting with one hand behind his back when he has a 1,000-yard rusher, it negates the impact that James Cook is having. He's got like 16 touchdowns this season. And we're going into this game, we don't know if Lamar's even going to have his number one wide receiver.
Sure.
When you have a Bills team that didn't have Amari Cooper the first time, now they have Amari Cooper, and it's healthy. Like, this is, it just is mind-blowing. Yeah. This is just mind-blowing to me that we're even thinking that one team should be favored heavily over the other.
I think sometimes we get caught in this trap where we think linearly and like one team is better than the other. The reason why I would favor the Ravens is because I think they match up with the Bills better. There are different games where I would say that different teams where I think the Bills match up better. It comes down to the fact that the Bills like to play in nickel and their linebackers are smaller. And the Ravens like to play in 22 personnel more than anyone in the league, and they like to bash them. And that's like, I think the Bills could win, but they're gonna have to win on the strength of them creating explosive plays early in the game to get the Ravens out of this running.
So do you feel like Kimberly has a point in A, stop acting like Josh is fighting with one arm behind his back, and B, are too many people overlooking the Bills? And she says she's shocked the Ravens are favored. They're only favored by like a point, maybe a point and a half. So those were her two takes, like shocked that the Ravens are favored, and number two, stop acting like Josh Allen is fighting with one arm behind his back.
Plus the line shifted. I mean, that changed within the last like 48 hours or so. It opened up on ESPN Bet as Buffalo being 1-point favorites, and then it shifted just a day or two ago to the opposite, the Ravens taking that. So that could change again. Who knows? But I'm not really surprised by that whatsoever. And then the whole narrative that Josh has one arm behind his back, I think has stemmed from a full year of life after Stephon Diggs. Like that's just something that's followed this team. It's been a hot button item in the media. What will life look like after his number one wide receiver, with all the turmoil, at least perceived, some of which was perceived, between he and Josh? What would it look like? And they've answered a lot of those questions. Now they did go and get Amari Cooper, which tells you that they weren't exactly comfortable with their wide receiver room prior to the deadline back in November. And they did draft Keon Coleman, who appears to be a solid developmental kind of rangy, tall, big wide receiver. But I think that it all stems from that. And it goes back a year. and so on and so forth. And can Josh be that guy? And then of course it all fit the narrative that, it's his time, right? And so on and so forth. And he's doing it all himself. But I do agree with something that she said. It doesn't negate it actually downplays the significance of what James Cook has meant to this team. And it's not just James on the ground. He's also a pass catcher, as is Ty Johnson. So it's far from alone. I think it's more of a blown out, overreacted narrative that's been in the works for a year now.
Yeah, and obviously we'll get into our picks on Friday, and I think we're both already saying we're going to pick the Ravens to beat the Bills. I don't have my score prediction yet. That being said, in no way do I feel like I just don't know that the Ravens, even in a win, are going to be able to dominate the way they dominated the Steelers. The Steelers seemed like they had no life. They came into the game limping on a 4-game losing streak. And I don't think that they believed that they could go all the way, and the effort that was put out by them, all that, I don't know that we're going to be able to see that again. And, they may be ticked off because they've heard the Lamar and Allen comparisons, even though Allen and Lamar themselves are friendly and always building each other up. And so I just feel like the Bills, and by the way, they feel like they have a legit chance to win it all as they beat the Chiefs a couple weeks ago. And so I just think the fight will be much stronger coming from the Bills. And then the other thing and he definitely has a better supporting cast than people have been letting on, trying to build up Josh. But then she mentioned that the Bills have that 10 straight regular season home game winning streak.
9-0.
9-0. I see on the Buffalo Bills website a 10 game winning streak. So I don't know. Maybe they're including the last playoff game that they just had. But anyway, it's a great streak. And so my point is I know that Ravens fans are coming into it very confident, and you should. Like I said, I'm going to pick the Ravens, but I think the Bills are going to be a much better fight than the Steelers were, and that's kind of to Kimberly's point.
So it looks like, just to check just how dominant they've been at home.
Yeah.
They went 8-0 during the regular season. And so that means, And so that means they're 9-0 with the wild card win. But I think what you're maybe looking at dates back to last year. Nonetheless, not taken away at all from, they have been utterly dominant at home. And guess what? You shared the stat earlier this week that when Rashad Bateman scores a touchdown, the Ravens are unbeaten. And he scored quite a few of them this year. So something's got to give coming up on Sunday night. We'll see what that means. Anything else before we want to get to homage here?
Just one note that they had, you saw at the beginning of that. This is the first wild card or divisional playoff game between QBs finishing in the top 2 of MVP. That's assuming these two guys are going to finish in the top 2 MVP. That's never happened in the history of the NFL, where you got the MVPs facing off in the divisional round.
It's too early.
And so it's too. That's why I said I wish this was the Super Bowl. And you're absolutely right. That streak dates back to last year, which, by the way, just points to how good it is. That one of their wins was that Chiefs game in Buffalo. And what about the Lions one? Were either of those on the road?
Oh, I got to look it up.
All right. Well, why don't you do an ad read? I can look it up for you. Or for myself, actually.
I got it right in front of me.
Okay.
Let's see. I want to say that Kansas City was a home game for them, and it was 30-21 back in November. And then they were at Detroit. So 2 signature wins, one of which was at home against the Chiefs, the other of which was on the road in Detroit.
Well, listen, we know as well as anybody in that AFC Championship game that you can go into somebody else's house and be a rude house guest.
No question.
A rude house guest, and that's what we're going to need from the Ravens.
No question. They lost on the road to the Rams in Week 14, lost to Baltimore, lost to Houston, both of which were on the road. That brings us to the first part of today's giveaway. And again, we want to say thank you and continue to shout out our fantastic brand sponsor, Homage, for all the support that they've given us. Let's take you on over to the site. Today is a Homage t-shirt giveaway, which means, as you see in the live chat, if you're in Twitter, you want to be eligible for today's giveaway, pop on over to YouTube. But as you see in the pinned comment right now, here's what we've got going on. if you do the following, subscribe to the Vault, like this video, and leave a super chat with the hashtag Vault, you will be eligible for today's giveaway. We also have a discount code for you that's available right now at our unique link, which is homage.com/Sarah and Bobby, which brings you to the page that you're seeing right now on screen. The Vault, code The Vault, gets you 20% off their Baltimore Ravens collection items. It's available to new and first-time customers only. It's limited to one use per customer. It is activated as of today and runs through the 28th of February. And here's what they got going on across the site as well. They are launching their first Captain America collection in anticipation of Brave New World's theatrical release in mid-February. So kind of along the lines of outside of just sports, there's a lot to choose from when you get to Homage. They have a happy hour site-wide sale starting tomorrow. That's Thursday, which features 20% off site-wide from 4 p.m. to midnight Eastern. And then on Saturday and Sunday, to celebrate divisional round weekend, they're featuring $20 off orders of 100 plus. So again, you spend $100 or more this upcoming weekend, you're going to get $20 off, and you can use our code on top of that, which will get you an additional 20% off. So Sarah, what are you rocking today? You said your shirt.
Yeah, so I've got the Lamar Jackson NFL Blitz t-shirt on today. I just wanted to channel some Lamar Jackson vibes as we go into this MVP versus MVP.
Here it is. For example, one of the many that if you do win, you can hit us up with this link, and that would be eligible to be a giveaway winner. Gosh, what else? So much on Homage. This is officially licensed merch. I mean, this is big time stuff. And Sarah and I know you got the joggers right here, for example. I'm rocking one of the go-to hoodies. So when you go over here and you go to sweatshirts and hoodies, if you want non-branded things, non-logo things, you can find a bunch of stuff there. The crew necks are really popular. T-shirt, again, the giveaway is T-shirts only, but you get on here and use our discount code, guys. I mean, $66 turns into a nice little economical purchase for you. And the crew neck is super comfortable. You already talked about how soft everything is.
Yeah. Very soft, very comfortable, whether it's the sweatpants, the joggers, the sweatshirts, the t-shirts, all very soft, good material.
Homage.com/Sarah and Bobby brings you right to our specific link. We want to continue to say thank you to them for all the support that they've given us on these Homage Wednesdays. It's awesome to get you guys involved as well. And let's rip through some of these super chats. I know you've been displaying some of the, and to catch everybody up to speed for timing purposes, 5 and below, I should say anything below $5 in super chat features, we're displaying them on the screen when we can. Those and above, we'll read them. Again, just to kind of be respectful to everybody's time. James Cady says, heading up to Buffalo to see the family and catch the game. Another huge week for the DMV. Go Bobby and Sarah. One of the highlights from last Saturday was definitely the violinist. Unreal vibes. #Vault. I think Samantha stole the show because we never even talked about the violinist, but I heard it was in the middle of a timeout and it was incredible. I saw some tweets on that in game at Ravens Steelers. Eric Murphy, Eric Hill, Olu, So Blessed 86, that is. We appreciate you guys, which brings us to Kevin Wishart.
We might need to name King Henry the snowplow after this game in Buffalo. #Vault.
Let's see what it's doing. Another shout out for Linda E, who dropped 100 on us 15 minutes into the show. She says, watch every day. This super chat is long overdue. Go Ravens. This is our year. #Vault. Thank you, Linda. Lineal Quantum, appreciate you for being here. And Edward Whittles.
After watching the Wired episodes and Hard Knocks, how can these fans want to fire John Harbaugh? That is insane. If you disagree, put your money where your mouth is. Beat my super chat. #Vault. I like that.
Love it, Ed. Appreciate you, man. He did control the room. He commands a room, doesn't he? Awesome.
He's done well.
Awesome episode last night. K Magenta says, having fun trolling my whole office of Bills fans this week. Congratulated them on picking up our practice squad quarterback. #Vault. Does that mean you're up in Western New York? And if that's the case, are we going to see you at the Be More Around Town tailgates this weekend? I hope so. Whatchamacallit, we appreciate you for being here. Kamal Porter. Thanks, guys. And Deshaun Davis.
Kind of under the radar. I'm confident in Sims filling in for Zay. Thought he did really well. I don't think Sims did very well, but maybe he can bounce back.
I like that jet sweep, but that was non-special teams.
Yeah.
Although he's referring to the misdirection and all the eye candy that Zay is off. And by the way, we should start to kind of.
So he's talking specifically on offense.
Probably, I would think so, because Zay's never really done any return work.
Yeah.
By the way, it's been quiet on the Zay front, but practice begins later today. So maybe towards the end of the stream, we'll have some practice updates in terms of whether or not he's been spotted. I wouldn't expect him to be spotted, but we'll see if anything changes there. Jang says, go fund me to get Lamar new pants. Suspenders, maybe? #Vault. Deshaun Davis, another one to make sure he is entered into today's giveaway, which brings us, and I think the pronunciation, because I was corrected by Ramaj, I believe it's Ramaj Collective for you.
My friend is a Bills reporter. Told him to enjoy his last week of work. #Vault. Going to class. I will be back to claim my prize later. I'm glad that she let us know. Yeah.
Love it. Steve Tasker, by the way, speaking of Bills analysts and personalities, former NFL wide receiver, will be joining us Friday at 12:30. Mark your calendars. So Blessed 86, we appreciate you for being here. And Justin Drinkwalter says 35-24 Ravens, an early prediction. #Vault. Rave Kingdom.
1, late to stream. That's a no-no. Now B and S. Y'all choose Bills to beat Ravens in season. It's the playoffs. What y'all pick? Hopefully we learned our lesson. Yeah, I picked the Bills to win in week 4. I remember that.
Did I?
I don't remember.
I got to go back and look. Deshaun Davis with a prediction, 41-19 Ravens, #Vault. Lauren Wunderlich checking in and making sure she is entered in. Same thing with Mike. Appreciate you both for being here. And Noah Galvin for you.
As a Central New Yorker, I am so excited for the Ravens to run through Baltimore in pursuit of the Super Bowl. Let's go flock, #Vault.
Let's go, Noah. Hope to see you out there. Sherry checking in, #Vault. Did you all see the Nick Wright QB mountain putting Stafford and Allen over Lamar? This must have been prior to the season, maybe? Not sure, Sherry.
No, I think he did that last week.
Did he really?
I'm pretty sure.
He put Stafford and Allen over Lamar in his like.
He always has Lamar. He always has Lamar like low.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Dre Dog 679.
It takes a chance to make a change. Give Lamar a chance, and he will continue to change the framework of what an NFL QB is. Dog walk season. #Vault.
You know, Dre's all in on that. Just another quantum wave function. Appreciate you for being here. Tre'Davious White over Brandon Stevens. We'll see what they choose to do with that kind of role in the secondary. James Lee Wiley says 10 to 20 mile an hour winds. No one's going to be throwing the ball. It's 10-degree wind chill. This is going to be a running game. #Vault. And we know who that favors between the two organizations. Not to take anything away from James Cook. It's the number 1 ranked rushing defense in Baltimore, and it's the King, the number 1 ranked rushing offense on the other side of the ball. Olu with a $20 spot.
Buffalo had 2 strong injuries in that last game to their nickel defensive back, and I think a backup running back. The nickel injury is big if he can't go because they stay in that package a lot. Plus, week 4, our offensive line play was suspect. #Vault. That's also true.
Steve Stein, when will the name of our group be revealed? I'm a fan of Vaulters, #Vault. That will probably be one of the top 3 or 5, whatever we end up choosing. But yeah, at some point soon, we gotta make sure we do a poll.
I like that suggestion. We got an email from somebody to do a tournament bracket.
Okay.
I like that.
Gotcha. Let's see. Thanks, Steve, for entering that in. That will definitely, I assume that's going to be at least one of the options just because of how OG it is and simple it is. You're not the only one that's reached out. Bert's for you.
I need another Chris Broussard hype take on the Ravens after we beat the Bills. Let's get this W, Flock Nation. #Vault.
Devin Elliott says it's hard to have sympathy for the Steelers, but having a player like Pickens won't block, runs half speed, and half routes when he isn't getting the ball makes it easy for defenses. Glad the Ravens play with heart as a team. #Vault. Mike M is in the building. Sod Blitz 34 in the building. Sitali in the building. Appreciate you guys for being here, which brings us to Cameron Hines for you.
Got my homage t-shirt on my birthday yesterday. Happy birthday, Cameron. Let's finish the week with the Baltimore win. #homage. #January, baby. #Vault.
Congrats on the win, Cam. Gary Eaton and Dreams in the house. Quion down in Virginia says the excuses for Josh Allen if he loses on Sunday are going to be for the ages. Hashtag Vault. Zem, I always struggle with this one. I'm going to go Zem. Zem's in the building, making sure they're entered in, as is Katrina and JPM, #1 fan for you.
Just ordered my Manta Sound sleep mask so I can sleep better with the stress of being a Ravens fan. Hashtag Vault Go Ravens. Awesome.
Hope to use our discount code, man. It means a lot. That obviously means a lot. And for our brand sponsors, goes a long way. Appreciate you, and I hope you enjoy the mask. Justin Holt is in the building. His grandson's 4th birthday. Happy birthday to Sawyer. And No Way DJ. Was this me or you? This is me. Bully ball in Buffalo at 8 degrees. It's going to be HE double hockey sticks trying to tackle Henry in the 4th. LFG. Hashtag Vault. So Blessed 86.
How about the Vault Vanguard? Also love to see our offense play as gangsta as our defense. I don't know if it's ever matched the level of intensity in the past. Hashtag Vault.
Mr. Jackson. Mr. Jackson. He wants to pay homage to us both. Appreciate you for doing so. Joe Jenkins in the building. Justin Holt says, happy birthday, Sawyer James Holt. Love pop, go Ravens. Hashtag Vault. Sawyer, happy birthday, man. Double it up. And Rafike Tucker.
If we go all the way, does Hard Knocks follow us to the Super Bowl? The Bills can't handle our offense. Hashtag Vault. I don't remember the deal going into the postseason, but let me look it up.
Chef Trez, I wonder if Chris Broussard will bring out an orchestra if the Ravens win. Seeing Nick Wrong use word gymnastics to explain how he hates on Lamar will always be goofy. Hashtag Vault. Hashtag Cream Crew. Hashtag Vault Nation. MJH, we see you. Abdul says Nick Wright's body language whenever Lamar's name is mentioned is that of when the hyenas mentioned Mufasa's name on Lion King to Scar. Hashtag Vault. Stevie Nick says D. Henry equals Lightning McKing. Go Ravens and go Nuggets. Sarah, hashtag Vault. Darlene Harris, we appreciate you for being here. Jang says this is to slightly increase my chances of winning a shirt today. LOL. LFG Ravens, hashtag Vault. We got 54 entries so far, Jang, so you are squarely in the mix. And Daryl Walton says, watch the flock run through the competition. Hashtag Vault, hashtag MV3, hashtag Big Truz. We appreciate you guys for being here. Did you find out the answer?
No. I did, but then there was a paywall on the article I clicked on, so I got to find a new article.
Rodrigo says, week 4 was my first NFL game. I'm confident we'll put BTA belt to arse again. I'll be in my 44 jersey. And Marlo Warren Jordan Sunday praying for another pick 6. Hashtag Vault. That is hilarious. So Rodrigo his first NFL game was the 35-10 thumping week 4. He's rocking Marlon's jersey. And it looks like, Rodrigo, you must have seen Marlon's Instagram post when he gives away like his entire wardrobe. Is that how it went? If so, let us know. That's hysterical. We are fully caught up on Super Chats. We appreciate you guys for being here. Sleepy just threw one in as well. Over 2,900 concurrently watching this afternoon. Please like the video. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't already done so. Hit that notification bell. We've got fantastic giveaways coming up over the next few days. Tomorrow, you're going to want to be here for Thursday's giveaway, as you will be on Sunday night for our post-game show. It will be a player-signed merchandise item and a guy who's definitely got a chance to be in Canton one day. Have you found it?
Yeah. So according to Cincinnati.com, so this is Cincinnati Enquirer, the show will document the Battle of the AFC North title during the final 6 weeks of the NFL season, as well as the playoff run for the division winner and any wild card teams.
Okay, there you have it. Yeah. And Bored Millennial dropping a diss track for the Lamar haters if we win the Super Bowl. Hashtag Vault. Cannot wait. Where to?
All right, well, let's talk about Hard Knocks. That's actually what's coming up next. So it was by far, which, makes sense given what just happened. It was by far the best episode in terms of covering the Ravens, because you got to watch the Ravens match up against their division rival Steelers. So Hard Knocks had access to both sides once again, which we had in week 16 and was fun to watch. This is even better because it's the playoffs. And so kind of starting out early, we pulled 3 clips. The whole episode, you should go check it out if you have HBO Max, all that kind of stuff. If not, the Ravens Wired, I think that premieres. They usually premiere on Wednesday nights, correct?
Wednesday nights.
The Wired. So there'll be that. It just won't have the Steelers side. So anyway, Chris Berman, legendary broadcaster, used to be at ESPN. Is he still at ESPN?
The Swami. Oh yeah, yeah.
Yes. Okay.
He's very he's up there in age. And so he's in like his semi-retirement phase, but he still does his legendary 2-minute breakdowns after the end of every week. I love this guy. Anybody that, man, isn't he a part of like, do you view him as a part of the fabric of like NFL coverage from as long as you can remember? Because he was that for me growing up, and he's been ever since.
Definitely going back to my childhood when he would do, what was his famous segment? I don't know what he would do.
Swami Says.
Yeah, maybe that. But what I remember as a little kid, because I'm LDS, obviously, he called Todd Heap the Stormin' Mormon.
That's
and
awesome.
So when I was a little kid, I was like, yeah. So, yeah, he did. So I just remember him, yes, and his voice and all of that. So anyway, he visits the Ravens practice heading into this game. This is him and John Harbaugh having a conversation with screen grabs for copyright purposes.
Nice job, O. Nice job, offense. It's throwing good, man.
Yeah.
It's throwing good in the cold. It's throwing good in the wind.
Yeah.
I see why I wanted to be out here.
Guys look good today?
Yeah, good day.
Good day. Pretty good in the cold. I mean,
Yeah.
he doesn't like it, but
He's throwing really good in the cold. I mean, he got the other way of the wind at his back, and I think it was kind of an adjustment because the one carried a little bit, but he's thrown 2 days really well out here in the wind. He has. You know what? You got to get used to it. And
you're going to play all the rest of the games.
I asked him, I said, guys, shouldn't we come out here one of these days, one of these practice days, and get the timing and everything? He goes, yeah. Lamar's like, no. He goes, I got to throw in it. They got to catch in it. The wind's going to blow it. It's going to move it. I need, like right here. Yeah. He goes, I need to get used to that. They need to get used to that. That was Lamar, man. There was like nobody wanted to go inside. Not one of the leaders.
I mean, I tell you what, there's something going on here.
Yeah.
This is.
We just got to go win a game. It's as simple as that. You got to go win a game.
Sarah, his voice is undefeated. Can we just rewind to this? A massive gust of wind came up out there in Owings Mills, and look at Boom. Look at Boom.
That? I know.
Look at Boom. It's almost like he gets knocked off his feet for a half second, and Chad Steele, head of PR, and Harbs are like trying to surround him to make sure he's good. It's hysterical.
And get this man a hat, man. It's like freezing out there, and he's out
man.
there with like a windbreaker for sure, but. Oh man. Now it's like the wind was listening. It knew they're talking about the wind. They're talking about the cold. John is saying, hey, Lamar was the one that headed this up because John was like, hey, should we go inside for at least one practice just to make sure we have timing down? And Lamar's like, nah, we all got to get used to this. We got to get used to throwing in the wind because it'll throw the ball off, and just right on cue, there's the wind. But what's interesting, Bobby, again, if you watch the whole episode, when he says there's something going on here, I don't recall him being at the Steelers that week in that episode. Full transparency, I was doing laundry while doing it, so I wasn't looking directly at the TV all the time. But when you juxtapose what Berman is saying right there and how loose the Ravens were versus Tomlin having a meeting with his coaches at the beginning of the week, and Tomlin's having this conversation like, he's like, you know what, guys, we always rush to give them information about the next game. He goes, but sometimes we should just try to lift them up and show them plays of what they've done well. And so that's the two differences is the Ravens didn't need to worry. John Harbaugh didn't need to worry about lifting up his team because they were on this 4-game winning streak, including against the Steelers, who they're about to play again. And Tomlin's dealing with the team that was on a 4-game losing streak, including against the Ravens. And so one is like working like, I got to lift their spirits first, and then I can give them the game plan. And Harbaugh could just, ease right, whiff right past that, because there is a feeling going around in Baltimore. We can all feel it. That's palpable. That's just like, we're feeling good, but we're focused and sticking at this one game at a time. And obviously Chris Berman could feel that.
Oh, man, I tell you what, it's not lost on you either as they go from team to team. And of course, this was primarily dominated last night by the two teams that remained at the time of the taping in the postseason race, right? Baltimore and Pittsburgh. And now the lone AFC North team is the Ravens, obviously. But when they cut to Cleveland and there's multiple firings, right? And team and their players are being notified of those, whether it's through social media or their position coaches going into their meeting room saying, hey, Ken Dorsey just got fired, guys. Like, make sure you send Dorsey a text. Like, it's talk about palpable, the dichotomy. And then you go over to Cincinnati, and Zach Taylor's trying to explain to everybody like where life goes from now when you just won out. You did everything you possibly could, ripping off 5 straight wins, and it still wasn't good enough. So it was a tremendous production. And this is the first time I watched it from start to finish, thanks to my college buddy who sent me his credentials to get in there to HBO. But so anyway, good stuff.
Well, then we can kind of get into the game. And I think we've said this before. When you hear that Lamar Joker laugh, right, as he's getting hit, it's like, oh, Ravens are winning. Ravens are like 9 times out of 10. He hits that Joker laugh. You're like, Lamar is in his bag. So not only did he hit us with the Joker laugh on this next clip, but he's just being funny the whole way. And Bobby, this has been the Ravens strategy all year. He talked about in the past, he's been antsy, not nervous, not seeing ghosts, not seeing the things that are not there. Let's not go too far. But he said a little bit antsy. And so all year, when you watch Wired or you watch Hard Knocks, they've tried to keep it super chill, super calm, super low key. So Lamar is truly out there playing like he is 8 years old again in the backyard in Florida.
Kick everybody, guys. Hit everybody. Hit the. I don't want to say hit the rough. Not hit the rough. Hey, 2, 3. Hey, my pants were falling right there. That's why I ain't run.
And now
I don't know what that last
Jang,
one is. Hold on. Bring that back up. We got to do the Joker laugh again.
Well, now you know what Jang was referencing earlier when she wanted to start a GoFundMe page for his pants.
Yeah. Oh, there we go. Here we go. Red Street Joker.
Why so serious?
Yeah. Yeah. Remember, we Louis Riddick relayed a story after talking to Myles Garrett of the Browns when the Ravens and Browns matched up on the last game of the season. And Myles was like, yeah, when this dude's out there laughing and you just gave him like a huge hit and he laughs right back in your face, it's like, who is this guy? Like, what? Like, it's just, it's just like he's not even phased. He's not even phased whatsoever. He's in his bag. And then on that one, first of all, he's like getting away from himself. He's like telling his offensive line, hit everybody, hit the ref. Okay, yeah, no, don't hit the refs, but hit everybody else. And then he's like, I didn't run on that one because my pants were falling down. Like, what do we need to do with Lamar and Derrick Henry's pants? I don't know, because we need these guys running free, not pulling at their pants. I don't know if we need suspenders, as she said, or belts or what, but get these dudes something to hold their pants up.
What else you got for us from last night's Hard Knocks episode?
All right, this last one I loved because I thought it was cool with Mike Tomlin. So Lamar gets hit out of bounds right in front of Mike Tomlin.
4 consecutive runs.
That's it, Lamar! That's it, Lamar! Jordan? Hell yeah.
He does it again.
Heck yeah.
Yeah, I'm good. You all right, 8? But I'm glad, I don't want any star. I don't want any star in these playoffs to get hurt. You know what I mean? Like, this is what we live for. We want to see these football games. We want to see the stars. So we don't want to see any of that. And Bobby, I didn't pull this clip, but one thing that I also noted from last night was I loved some of my favorite stuff outside of the game footage is when they go inside of meeting rooms and talk about preparing for the other team. When I tell you, if you haven't seen the show, that they knew what they needed to do on defense. They open up saying, get number 22, get the big guy, get the big guy, get the big guy. Do not let him take over. He's teaching his defensive ends to go get him first instead of Lamar, which is why Lamar was running so fast. They understood the assignment. And that's why you can feel so good as a Ravens fan, because when the Pittsburgh Steelers with TJ Watt and Cameron Hayward Bay, you got these dudes who are known for defense and they know what the assignment is. And yet the Ravens put up 1 yard fewer, 299 yards, one shy of 300. And they could have had 300 if they didn't kneel it at the end. That a Steelers defense that is way more stout than what they're about to see against the Bills they knew. And then how many times during the game, Mike Tomlin's on his headset, keep 8 in the pocket. Keep 8. Do not let 8 do this. Do not. And he keep calling it out. Don't let 8 do this. Don't let 8 do that. And then 8 would go out and do it. And that's why it feels so good. And it goes back to what Todd Monken had said to Dan Orlovsky in their pre-game interviews, again, before Browns and Ravens, is Todd Monken told Dan Orlovsky, you know what? I know people know what's coming, but I have Derek and Lamar. So you know what? I'm going to do it anyway. Like the Steelers kept calling it out and just could not stop this duo.
Abdul just wrote us about how long these Hard Knocks episodes run, and you mentioned that it does continue through the playoffs, correct?
That's what Cincinnati.com said.
Okay. And Rodrigo says Marlon was moving and posted he was selling things through his friend. I didn't meet him. I did see the lovely Inner Harbor view from his high-rise condo. Rodrigo is rocking part of Marlon's former wardrobe and his 44 jersey coming up this weekend. Anything else before we get to a former Pittsburgh Steeler who was in the news yesterday?
No, sir. Let's move on.
All right. So from the Steelers to a former Pittsburgh Steeler, the Houston Texans waived former Raven, former Panther, former Steeler, and now former Texan Diontae Johnson. And as Landry Locker tweeted out, DJ made a scene in the locker room after Houston's wild card win. They were celebrating, the locker room was, a wild card game win, and cigars were literally lit and being smoked. The team was bonding, happy to get a W, obviously. And he goes on to say, I could see why Tomlin was totally over this guy and why Baltimore, one of the best organizations in the entire NFL, bailed. You brought in a follower of his who asked for the details. What kind of scene was it? And Landry was like, it was a pouty one. So, Sarah, here he goes again, looking for his 5th team in the calendar year. I don't know what his future looks like. It's a business, so sometimes folks have a short memory in front offices, especially when you have needs at wide receiver. You also brought in some more from that thread as well.
Well, just it reminded me exactly of what we just went through in Baltimore. So you have that one person who is like in denial of what Diontae Johnson might be doing behind the scenes and blaming the front office and the coaching staff. So this Houston Texans follower is like, well, could he have handled himself better? Yes. But to waive the only wide receiver who can make a difference behind Nico in this run is just stupid. Houston doesn't want to win this year, he accuses them of. When there's a chip on the line, you do whatever work through whatever. Gosh, man, it hurts, but whatever. So then Landry replies back, I can't see it.
Oops.
Sorry. He says, Diontae doesn't know the plays or care about winning. This ain't Madden, and they ain't the first team to punt on him. So it reminded me of exactly what a smaller segment of Ravens fans were doing. That it was like, whatever, you got to work with them. You got to figure it out. And it's like, no, you don't. Like, you want to say that because obviously it makes sense on paper, which is why so many teams have taken a chance on him. As was pointed out by the score, he has now played for 1/8 of all NFL teams in the last 12 months, traded from the Steelers to the Panthers, traded from the Panthers to the Ravens for a box of peanuts, and then let go and then picked up, both teams needing a wide receiver. And so, no, if what they don't understand is, while yes, he looks good on paper, it's another level, Bobby, when your team is celebrating for a win that a lot of people were saying you couldn't win in the playoffs with your second-year quarterback, and you've been hit hard at wide receiver, and Diontae was not the reason why they won. And then he has the audacity to be in that environment and take away from his team's happiness by making it about him. And again, I said the same thing when he was here in Baltimore, because could he have had a point that he should have gotten the ball more than he did because he had more time in Baltimore? Could he have had a point? Sure. But how you make your points makes all the difference in the world. And now let's take Diontae out of it. You take Diontae out of it because I don't want to bury him. But a person that can't channel frustration in the right way isn't mature yet. That's what toddlers do. Toddlers pout. Toddlers are the ones that put up a fit, and they do it at their own detriment. So a lot of people think that they're tough when they're displaying their emotions all the time, and you can't tell me how to think and you can't tell me how to feel. And that's true. Nobody's going to tell Diontae how to think. Nobody's going to tell Diontae how to feel. And maybe he's has a point. But when your feelings get in the way of your own success, then that's a problem. You have not matured as a human being to make a maybe legitimate point in a way that actually works for you. The way he's doing it isn't working for him. It's not working. And you have 4 teams telling him that. It's not working for us. It's not working for you in a contract year. So you can stick your chest out and you can be like, nobody can tell me how to feel. Okay, cool. But then pretty soon you might be left alone with you expressing your feelings exactly how you want to express them in the moment.
Tell you what, if this doesn't give the folks that were kind of pointing the finger at Harbaugh and the coaching staff newfound appreciation for how he handled this and how he protected Diontae Johnson, I don't know what will. He did not dress him down in a public setting. They handled it internally, obviously kept everything tight-lipped and close to the vest, ended up punishing him with a 1-game suspension, which followed by a dismissal, mutual dismissal of from team activities the following week. And now, again, Diontae looking for his 5th team in under a calendar year. We'll see how his offseason shapes up because, boy, oh boy, some team is going to be taking a significant risk by bringing him in if they choose to do so. Kyle Van Noy had a lot to say on his recent podcast episode, McCoy and Van Noy. And, of course, KVN's coming off a career year. He's 33 years young, sipping from the fountain of youth. Year 2 with Baltimore, saw a career high in sacks. Somebody that was just a lifeline for a young outside linebackers room. And, Sarah, he had no problems whatsoever talking about Pittsburgh's decision after winning the coin toss on Saturday night and electing to receive. He had no problem whatsoever making sure he knew how he and his defense felt about that decision.
Yeah, the first thing I thought when it happened was desperate, right?
Mm-hmm.
That's what I was like, oh, we won. Desperation, not going with what they always go with, playing with their defense. That's what they're built on there. They were like, we got to switch it up. We're 0-4, desperation. That's what it came off as to me, being on the sideline. I was like, oh, man, this is disrespectful. Taking the ball first, we were all kind of pissed off about that. That to me was like a huge, alarm bell for me because I feel like that wasn't what they do. But that's what they did. It was just a fun game to be at. The environment was electric, very memorable environment. So shout out to all Ravens flock bringing the noise all game long. It was exciting to play in that building. The energy, felt it. John Harbaugh showing emotion after the game, pumping up the crowd because we felt it. It was a home field advantage. It felt like a playoff atmosphere, and we stood on business. It was belt to ass. Their defense getting almost 300 yards rushing on them. I'd be pretty embarrassed if that happened to me, especially with all the good players they had. I want to see where that goes, what they're going to do over there. They have players like Cam Hayward, TJ Watt, Highsmith, Minka. Where are they going? What's their direction?
Right.
Obviously, they're a division rival. It'll be interesting to see what they do in the future. But for us, it was a really, really good game. And for them, I'm sure it was embarrassing. They were on the field a lot. Their defense was on the field a lot. We had a drive where we had, I believe, 13 plays that we just ran the ball. I mean, that was just bully ball at its finest. People are going to be like, what we were going to do without Zay? Well, we got to the point where they were putting in goal line against us. That's what it was.
Yeah.
It was 9-on-7, G. We running the ball. They know we running the ball. Stop me.
KVN, not mincing words. You can go check that out in full, the McCoy and Van Noy show, which is on Yahoo Sports. But the first thing you thought, Sarah, when they elected to receive was desperate. This is disrespectful. We were all kind of peed off about that. We stood on business. It was belt to arse. Their defense getting almost 300 yards rushing on them. I'd be pretty embarrassed if that happened to me. So KVN, if you didn't already know, has officially injected himself into this rivalry.
He did not hold back. He did not hold back whatsoever. The BTA, disrespectful. I mean, I definitely thought desperate for sure. They was like, they were just like, we got to try to get some points, and we got to try to get some points early and get some momentum on our side because we are on a 4-game losing streak. Like, it was like anything they could do. And then for him to end saying, I'd be pretty embarrassed if that happened to me. Woohoo! Woohoo! And the thing is like the Steelers can't say anything. The only time they can say anything is when they meet again on the field at some point next year. But for the next several months, they're going to have to live in that because you just can't say anything back. I mean, he came hard, but he didn't tell any lies either.
PSA, final call for today's giveaway. If you want to enter in, throw your super chats in now. We're a minute away from doing so. And how about Mike Tomlin, Sarah, at his end-of-season press conference? A number of quotes stood out, all of which were transcribed by our friend and ESPN Steelers reporter Brooke Pryor. Tomlin on carrying the baggage of the lack of playoff wins. He says, quote, I got big shoulders. What about to any team who may inquire about his availability in a potential trade? Quote, I have no message. Save your time.
ESPN did report that at least one team reached out, by the way.
Okay.
And if you heard that press conference, that was like a Mike Tomlin. He said it in the way only Mike Tomlin can. Save your time. Next question kind of energy.
Some other things as well. Quote, there's not a lot of misfortune in this business. You get what you've got coming to you. He also said the way this season ended is football justice. Quote, you get what you deserve. So, goodness gracious. Some hard, maybe inward looking for the Pittsburgh Steelers and Mike Tomlin over the course of the next few months as their offseason begins. And Sarah,
he's staying in Pittsburgh. He's staying in Pittsburgh, Bobby.
I agree. Highly performed Prime Video performance-wise. It was their first NFL playoff game. It attracted the most, Tila, where are you at? Concurrent viewers ever for the service. Over 24.66 million, which was a record peak viewership for Prime. To over 22 million in terms of average audience for Steelers-Ravens on Saturday night. Sarah, I would not be surprised if CBS just skyrockets those numbers coming up, given the magnitude of the two front-runner candidates, Ravens-Bills, divisional, Sunday primetime. That's what we got coming up this weekend.
Tila says she's here, and I circled the word concurrence for her, just for you, Tila.
I was going to ask you on that, but since timing, I have a dentist appointment at 1:30. I just kind of assumed it. Your boy, Fa'alele.
Fa'alele. Check this out. The 33rd team posted an image of every offensive lineman with, get this, 0 pressures allowed. Daniel Fa'alele, one of only 6 offensive linemen to allow no pressures, and no other Raven is on this list. Like, what is happening in this world? First, he gets second team Pro Bowl, then he gets some All-Pro votes, and now he's in the wild card, not allowing a single pressure.
Talk to him, 77. Keep proving us wrong. Keep proving us wrong, Big 77. The temperatures on Sunday, oh my gosh, they continue to drop. Still no snow at kickoff, but it's going to feel like 4 degrees. And again, a lot of that has to do with the wind chill. So it's going to be something. And Rashad Bateman, of course, was on Nightcap. Go check that out if you haven't already done so. Ocho wants to be his nutritionist, which would go wrong in a number of ways. Ocho's hilarious.
Hilarious that he, like, if you watch the clip, maybe I'll show it after you go, Bobby. I don't know. I know you got to go in 2 minutes.
Rafike says, just want to acknowledge that Drake's devil juju didn't work. Hashtag Vault. You should definitely show it. It was pretty funny.
Okay.
Swoltron and Dominique, appreciate you guys for being here. 12K Tay says, Bobby, I need a quick intro followed with, quote, we have 750,000 concurrent burglars breaking into the vault. Got to hear how the name sounds live. Hashtag Bobby Bank Taker. Hashtag Bobby Bank Teller. Hashtag Sarah Safe Deposit Box. Hashtag Vault. Hashtag burglars. Brian Me, we appreciate you guys, you being here as well. Carolyn making sure she gets entered in. Let's go Ravens. Thomas Bowen, you are entered in. Swoltron says Hard Knocks is capturing something special going on in B-More. Would be amazing if they made a run to the Super Bowl and Hard Knocks captured it. Mark Clayton, Steph Easton, so on and so forth. It's ready. We're ready to roll for our Wednesday giveaway, courtesy of Homage. All you had to do, what?
I've never seen you breeze. I mean, fly through quick hits and super chats the way you just did. That was something to witness as I'm bringing up.
Making sure she helps out her percentages. Fa'alele finally played mean. Hope he keeps it up. Hashtag Vault. Today, we have 75 entries, Sarah, for today's Homage giveaway. We want to continue to thank our brand sponsor. And guess what, guys? Next Wednesday, there'll be another one. You could be eligible by subscribing, liking the video, leaving a super chat with the hashtag Vault, and clicking on the link that brings you to homage.com/Sarah and Bobby, which you see right now in the live chat. Let's get to it.
I didn't even do a countdown, Bobby. I know you're in a hurry. I just went.
As Tilly makes a cameo and somebody knocks on my front door. What is going on right now?
Holly Keith.
Holly.
Hey.
Congratulations, Holly.
What did Holly say?
Hey,
Tilly.
let her know what we need from her. I'll be right back in a second here. Somebody's
All
at the
right.
front door.
Oh, okay. Holly, what we need from you, if you haven't heard it before, is email us at BaltimoreRavensVault@gmail.com. Send us the link to the t-shirt. Has to be a t-shirt. Wait, I need Bobby back because I think we asked them to up it for the playoffs. You might be able to pick anything. So send me a t-shirt and then you can, yes, I think we're doing it where it's a non-starter jacket because those are sold out. They said you could do one item, anything that's not a starter jacket. So they upped it for the playoffs for us. Doesn't only have to be a t-shirt. You could get a sweatshirt or a jogger pant too, but it's one thing. So send us a link to what you'd like. Send us the size in which you would like it. Send us your mailing address and then just show us that you've subscribed to the show and that you've liked this video, and then you should be all good. Bobby, they upped it, right? For the playoffs. It doesn't have to be a t-shirt. It's anything as long as it's not a starter jacket, right?
Oh, that'd be news to me.
Yeah. No. Check the emails. I'm pretty sure, Holly. Send us anything but a starter jacket.
I may have glossed over that.
Yeah, I think you did. He said that he would up it for the playoffs.
Okay.
Yeah.
I just haven't seen that, so I'll trust your thoroughness. And Holly, you know the drill. I'm sure Sarah already outlined it all for you, and I am late to my dentist appointment, so I'm gonna jump.
All right, you jump. I want to find Holly's super chat.
Okay.
Wait. Help me do that before you go, because you're better at finding them than me. Holly.
She had one. Let's see. Ravens W equals bring out the purple robes. Hashtag Vault.
There we go. Thank you, Bobby.
Congrats,
run
Holly.
to the dentist, buddy. Go.
Congrats, Holly. And I'm just trying to think if there's anything else that we need to make folks aware of. Tilly is really going off right now. The timing of this could not be better. I have no idea who's knocking at the front door too. But anyway, okay. So you and I will be back tomorrow. We got a fantastic giveaway in play for tomorrow, as we do on Sunday night as well. Holly knows the drill for her giveaway winner. And Steve Tasker on Friday.
Yeah.
Anyway, my mind's I'm going to be late.
Just
so
go.
I'm going to go. Appreciate it. You've told me to go 15 times. You think I'll go now?
I don't know. We'll see.
All right. Appreciate you.
Appreciate you, Bobby. We'll see you tomorrow.
Talk later,
You're
guys.
the best.
Thanks, everybody. Later.
Oh, that was funny. Yeah. Congrats, Holly. You got all the information on that. I did want to play this video real quick of Chad Ochocinco basically trying to get business with Rashad Bateman being his nutritionist.
In the postseason, towards the end of the season, most players are banged up. Nobody's really truly 100%. And you dealt with some tough injuries early in your career. Do you feel now you've turned a corner? And what helped you cope with extensive rehab to get you to the point where you are now?
Last year was my first time, playing a full season healthy. So this is my, second year playing healthy, finally being involved in the offense. But man, to get over that, man, that just took God and mental strength.
Well, I want to extend my services while I'm here. Now we talk about, your time taken and being available. I can extend your playing career by 10, 12 years as a nutritionist. Now, if you want to hire me, I can help you out with that part. I'm not sure if you have a nutritionist. I don't want to step on nobody's toes, but we can talk about that later off camera and do a little business. I don't charge nothing but $20 a week.
What, McDonald's paying you?
Yeah.
He said he only charges $20 a week. $20 a week. All right. Can I hire him as a nutritionist for $20 a week? I would like a nutritionist. Somebody who tells me what to eat and I don't have to think about it. Yeah, I'll do that easily for $20 a week. And then one other thing I wanted to make note on, but we wanted to get Bobby out to the dentist, is the forecast. Still no snow in this forecast. I actually like that. I don't want to see like Lamar trying to juke somebody and he slips in the snow. I don't want to see like Derek, you know what I mean? So have it cold, be cold, but no snow. I'm for that. I don't need anybody like slipping and tearing an ACL or anything like that. So, it's going to be cold though. Oh, and I do not think that these defensive backs are going to want to tackle Derrick Henry when he's coming at them. It's going to be lit. Absolutely lit. All right. Are we all caught up? Just real quick to check Twitter. Have you guys noticed, has anybody put out any practice reports yet? I just want to know if they've seen Zay out there. I don't think I've seen any reports yet. Okay. No, nothing. All right. So when we are back tomorrow, me and Bobby, which is a Thursday, by then we will have had a Wednesday practice report. We will know who's limited, who's full, who didn't practice at all. My prediction is that Zay doesn't practice at all. And then we will also have gotten John Harbaugh speaks today. Lamar Jackson speaks today. I imagine Derrick Henry will be one of the other select players. I don't know. We'll see. But we know for sure Lamar and John and then some select players. We will have a full breakdown of all of that and more. This game cannot get here soon enough. And by the way, Sam, who we had on the show on Monday, who sang the national anthem, she hooked me up with the company that made her vest. I'm trying to get that vest here. They just DM'd me on Instagram. I'm trying to get that vest here ASAP because I need that vest for this playoff run. Woo! I need that in my life. All right, guys. I will be back here in 24 hours with Bobby. I know we keep teasing that we'll do this like poll for the name, Vaulters, Voltrons, Baltimoreans, Dwellers, Insiders, Vault Nation. There's so many. That we are so busy with content and trying to get sponsors for this playoff run. We're trying to get it going. We're trying to get it moving. I kind of want to do a tournament because if you couldn't tell yesterday, I didn't like the top 3 that Bobby chose to put into a poll. Like we got to narrow it down to like maybe 4 for a poll. I didn't like the top 4 they chose. So I'm like, we got an email saying, why don't you guys do a bracket? Do we like the bracket idea? We like the bracket idea. So it's not us just paring it down to 4. What do we got here? Yes, no? Or do you guys want us just to pick the top 4? Tell me what you think. Ashley said, really, Sarah? I couldn't tell. Okay, everybody's saying yes here. At least 3 people have said yes. Vanguard. I'm not feeling that, which is why we need to have Tila. Sarah, I always give Tila, just rename the show. God, it keeps moving. And let us start over. LOL. No, I think we could get it. Bracket is perfect. Okay. I agree with you guys. We got to do a bracket. Now, Bobby and I will place the bracket. Okay. We'll probably give the seating. We'll make the seating ourselves. We are the hosts, right? We get to at least do the seating, right? So we'll do the seating, and then we can do brackets, and then maybe we'll do a poll for each bracket. Maybe we'll have 4 brackets, 4 names in each bracket. So that gives us 16. It gives us 16 slots. Or maybe, we could do 2 at a time. But we'll play with that. That's what I think we should do. And then that way, the cream of the crop, it'll rise. We'll just know it. So Dave wants vault crackheads. I'm not feeling that one, Dave, but I know you are because you put it in here a couple times already. So, all right. Once again, I will close. I've done it like 4 or 5 times. I started to and I didn't finish. There were 33,520 concurrents with us right now across all platforms. We appreciate you guys. Cannot wait for this game to be here. See you again in 24 hours, and we'll get you what Lamar and John and everybody else had to say about this upcoming game. Let's go.